scrappy peeps, I am back with week 20 of my Project Life videos, and this week is a 1-page spread. I didn't have enough photos for a 2-page, so I just did a full 12 by 12 1-page spread. And this card I'm working at is one of the filler cards, and I'm using some labels that I printed off of the Caitlin Schaefer's blog, and that little kind of scallopy label die cut, that's the craft. That is a sticker from the Target dollar spot. And that camera came from Hobby Lobby, and it's from the Paper Studio collection. I believe that's Hobby Lobby's brand. And then these stickers, I'm going to use this every day. Joy, Happiness, Love is from Simple Stories. So I'm just going to glue all those down, and then after I do that, I'm going to add the brad, and I'm going to end up poking 2 holes because the first one I poked was a little bit too low and it wasn't quite where I wanted it. So I'm just going to re-poke that and get it where I want it. And then I'm going to add in some of my homemade enamel dots, and I'm just picking a variety of colors that match the different cards and things that I'm going to use on this layout. And just as a reminder, I do have the full picture of the layout at the end of the video, along with some of the close-up shots. So if you guys want to see what it ended up turning out to be, that is a part of the end of the video. So here I'm just using my glue dots to adhere the enamel dots, and I find that the glue dots are the best thing to use because they seem to stick the best. The liquid adhesive, they always pop off on me. So I'm going to add this silver Mr. Huey's Mist to a good amount of my cards just to kind of tie them all together, and I thought this was a really pretty color, and I'm doing the lazy person's way, so I'm just using a paper towel instead of using my little splatter box. I highly recommend that you use the splatter box and not be lazy, but I was being lazy. So do as I say, not as I do. So now I'm moving on with this little sunshine die kit that I think came in the Simple Stories sticker pack or die cuts from last year's collection. And that little sun that I put it on is a jelly bean soup, and it's got like a corrugated cardboard look to it. And then I'm adding some more of those enamel dots with my glue dots. And in a minute here, I'm going to show you what the close-up looks like so you can see the texture on that sun. And unfortunately, you really can't see it too much on this card because it's getting covered up by the little die cut, but those are pretty cool. They came with suns and clouds in the little jelly bean soup pack. So I'm moving on to another 3x4 picture. And I know I've mentioned this before, but just in case some of you guys are new or you haven't heard, I am using the Collect app, C-O-L-L-E-C-T, Collect app. And that is what is making my pictures look like that. So I have the picture on there, and then I'm able to journal, and it comes with the date. And depending on which level of app you have, because you can pay for the different levels, I guess, you can get different fonts and different things that show up in the bottom. So if you don't like this font or you don't like the format, you have more options when you pay. I think it's like $1.99 or something like that. So I'm just taking some twine that I have in my stash, and I am threading it through these buttons. These buttons are very, very old buttons that I had from Stampin' Up, and I definitely don't use buttons nearly as much as I used to, but I thought I would pull some of those out of my stash and get them used up. And before I started threading these, I actually took some glue and put it on the end of the twine and made kind of like a little needle, and that really helps to get it through the buttonholes. And that card is done. Next, I'm moving on to this card. I'm going to put some of that Mr. Huey's Silver Splatter on it first, and then I'm going to put the little chipboard butterfly and the label. It's another Caitlin Schaefer label. And after I get this on, it was kind of sitting on the surface, so I just took my paper towel and just dabbed it up a bit. Again, being lazy, just using paper towel. That is the Caitlin Schaefer label. That little flower is from Basic Gray, one of their scrapbooking kits. It was an extra die cut, and the butterfly is from I believe Recollections, and it came with a bunch of different colors in the pack, so it was already colored that way. And some more of my homemade enamel dots. And because I'm trying to use up things that I have in my stash, I'm going to be using some I believe they're all Ali Edwards stamps on this layout. I definitely need to get my stamps out more. That's why I pretty much bought the stamps I bought for Project Life. So I'm really trying to use that up on these pages. I need to use them more on my scrapbooking pages too, but I just seem to be able to use them a little bit easier on my Project Life pages. So this one I'm going to selectively stamp using my Memento ink. And I'm doing all the words except the very first one, and it's going to say delightful little things, I believe. Yes, delightful little things. And there was a word right before that, but one, it didn't fit and it didn't really go with the picture. I can't remember exactly what it said, but I just didn't stamp that part. And that label, I can't remember. It might be My Mind's Eye. It came on one of those little 3x4 cards. I think that's the size, that had a couple different labels on it. So I used that. Again, something from my stash that I've been just collecting forever. Next, I'm going to make this one. It's going to be pretty simple. It's just going to be that sticker there from a Scraptastic kit that I had leftovers and this silver mist. And then that's just going to go kind of in the upper portion of the card. So pretty simple on that one. I like the texture of like the wood grain on that one. This one, I'm going to use another one of those craft stickers from the Target dollar spot, and I'm going to put that on. That Brad is from Stampin' Up, and then I'm going to use another one of my Allie Edwards stamps on this, and it's going to somewhat overlap the left-hand side of the card and the heart. And the heart does absorb it a little bit more, so you're going to see that because I have a little bit of a change in leveling between the stamp and the card, that I'm going to have to come in with my marker and just kind of touch it up just a bit, just to make the line smooth, like where that says the M in the moment. I'm just fixing that just a little bit. And I'm just using a Sharpie marker, and that's the marker that I find I like the best. I've tried several different journaling markers, and I'm just really crazy picky, and I like it to have a certain feel when I'm journaling, and I found that the Sharpie markers with the ultra fine point are really the best markers. I've just really enjoyed using them the best after I've tried and bought way too many markers to mention, or journaling pens to mention. That's what I ended up with. I'm going to add some more sparkle to this card as well. And then I'll show you a little bit more close-ups. Oh, sorry, I did show you. Oh, yeah, I showed you the close-ups already. I apologize. Now I'm moving on to my title card. Usually I do my title card first, but for whatever reason I decided to do this close to the end. And I really like the background. It looks like cork. And I have these tags. They came from my stash, and they came from Hobby Lobby. And you can get the different size tags from there. And I'm just going to string some of that twine through and just make a really simple tie. Nothing fancy on this. And I'm just going to layer these two tags up with some more of those Caitlin Schaefer labels. And I just really like these labels a lot. And I love that they're printable and that Caitlin Schaefer has them on her website or her blog, because I'm able to just print them as many as I would like. And then if you have the Silhouette Cameo, you can also use the print and cut feature and then cut them out so you're not having to hand cut. My printer, for whatever reason, I found that this particular brand of printer is not the best when it does the print and cut, that for some reason it doesn't recognize the alignment correctly, and I've just had all kinds of problems with it. I tried one day, and then I got really frustrated, so I just quit and just decided to hand cut them. So I'm going to try again. I had cut some labels out with my other printer, but my other printer that I absolutely loved, it stopped working. It was a large format printer that I could do 12 by 12s, and it stopped working. I was so bummed. So when I got this new printer, I'm just not very happy with it, but it prints regular documents just fine. Just some of my crafty kinds of things, it's just not as nice. So here I'm using the WK from the October Afternoon sticker sheet, like Sticky Keys is, I believe, the name of it. And then this Heidi Swap glittery font. Yeah, Sticky Keys from October Afternoon. And it's in the kind of gunmetal, and it looks like old typewriter keys. And then that little white clip is from Stampin' Up, and so is that little green Brad. And then I'm going to top this off with a couple of homemade enamel dots. And sorry for it being blurred. It will come back into focus in a second. There you go. And I didn't mention it, but the left-hand side sticker that I added on, it came in an old sticker sheet that I've had for quite some time. I think it is Echo Park, maybe. And it had like a kind of boyish travel type theme in it, but I don't remember the name of the collection. I just have a couple pieces left from that. So now I'm moving on to the next card. And this one, I'm going to be pretty simple. I'm just going to add this little heart. Again, that's from the dollar spot from Target, and it's just like, what is it called? Craft color cardstock. And then I'm going to add this one enamel dot. Pretty simple for this card. Next, I'm going to move on to a card where I have 4 little pictures clustered on the card. And this one is going to be using this little clip that I have here. I think this is from Memory Keepers. Is that a brand name? Making Memories? Making Memories, that's what it is. And that little butterfly brad is from Stampin' Up. Kept that one pretty simple. There's a lot going on in the card, so I felt like I didn't really need to do a whole lot with that card. Next, I'm moving on to this little doggy pattern card. This was a piece of cardstock or pattern paper that I had in my stash for quite some time. That little cloud is from that jelly bean soup pack that I was talking about earlier that had the sun in it. And that star is a Caitlin Schaefer label, and I felt like this was just not quite the right color. I wanted to lighten it up just a bit, so I'm using my Picket Fence Distress paint and just adding that over the top so you could see the corrugation a little bit more. And I'm going to pull one of these Teresa Collin words, phrases, to go on the cloud, and it says, "I want to remember." And this sticker sheet, I don't know, they just didn't cut them very well. I'm having all kinds of problems getting them off. I mean, they're not too terribly bad, I guess, but they should be a little bit easier to pull off. They end up kind of ripping on the edges and stuff, and sometimes I have to end up using some liquid glue. So that one is that. Again, just kind of keeping it pretty simple. Here I have a picture of me and my daughter, and I'm just going to add these 2 flowers on. These are from that basic gray scrapbook kit I was talking about earlier. Some leftover pieces. Oh, actually I'm only going to use the 1 flower. I thought I used both. This is going to be mostly a journaling card. I'm going to use this 5-cent sticker. That also came from that Echo Park Boys kind of travel theme kit that I had used the edge on the title card for. That's a Stampin' Up button with a little bit of black and white twine, and that flower that I thought I was going to use in the other picture, I'm using it here just as a layering piece with the button. And that 5-cent sticker is going to go in the bottom right, and then I'm going to journal on this card. Next, I'm just going to add this simple sticker to this, just that says Sunday. Again, that's from that Echo Park sticker collection. We're playing Go Fish, me and my daughter. And then I needed to add some more splatter. I had kind of stopped adding splatter as I was going along, so I am now, see, that's what I'm talking about, being sloppy. Now I got it on my paper. So I'm putting my paper towel on now, but I'm going to add some of the splatter on these cards because I did not add it to some of the ones I wanted to. And then I thought, well, you know what, I haven't used enough stamping, so I'm going to go through and add a bit more stamping to a couple more cards, and then that's pretty much going to call it quit. Like I said earlier, all of these stamps I'm using are from Allie Edwards from, I believe, Technique Tuesday. I absolutely love Allie Edwards stamps. They're probably my favorite stamps. I just love her font, and all of her sayings are just awesome, and I don't know, there's something that's really, really appealing about her stamps. So I really like them, and also the Technique Tuesday stamps in general are high quality, but all of Allie Edwards stamps are that real nice photopolymer that is perfect. I don't like using the acrylic stamps. I just don't think they work very nice. You have to kind of use this like a StazOn ink or a combination of your Versamark and black ink in order for it to really look nice. So I try to stay with the photopolymer unless I just really, really love a stamp set and it's inexpensive. I might grab it. So anyway, this is going to be the last card, and after this you're going to see that I'm going to show you some close-ups. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me today. If you're not already a subscriber, please do so. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up, and I love hearing from you guys. Let me know if you have any ideas for other things you'd like to see, differences in how you want me to present my videos, or anything you'd like to talk about. Let me know in the comments below, and I will talk to you guys soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.